mention of the low self-esteem, I was raised in well, you don't know, so I'm about to share with you. I love it when people are like, and you're like, no, I really don't actually. I was raised Catholic, and I went to Catholic school K through 12, so 13 years of Catholic school. And my parents escaped communist Hungary, so things were very strict and very like, this is the way you do things. You go to university, you find a husband, you get married, you have kids, you stick with them through good, bad, and the ugly, till death do you part. So divorce was not really an option. And so there I was, divorced. And I was like, I failed. Like, I'm the black sheep of the family. I failed. And that's where the low self-esteem came from, because everything culturally said that you stick with it. Right. And so I'm not sure. Well, I think pretty much all of the European cultures, you have a husband or a wife, you have a spouse, and then you have a plus one, right? So I guess you're a plus three total, or plus two, however you want to look at it. But I mean, that's just not it's a common thing in Hungary. Is like, my uncle had a wife for years and years, and he had an amazing girlfriend as well, and he just divided his time. And that's just the way the culture was, and I just didn't want that in my life. And so I divorced. And so the low self-esteem came from the divorce and being like, now what do I do? Because then I'm a single mom, and how are you? And it's been, I mean, honestly, it was for quite a number of years where people would be like, well, why aren't you dating? And how are you going to make it? And you need a man in your life. Well, no, I don't. I can choose to want a man in my life, but I don't need a man in my life. And so here I am, pretty much. I mean, my oldest one is 21, and other than the 4 years of marriage to the abuser, I mean, and that really didn't count because he didn't really parent. So here I am, single parenting for 20 years. Well, she was 3, so 18 years, 18, 19, somewhere in that. But it's so funny how culturally, US, like, you have to have a spouse, you have to have a 2-parent income, you cannot be successful if you're not. It's a mindset thing, right? And the definition of success is different. Like, for me, success was being able to have jobs where I can come home and be a mom. So I didn't give into the corporate world, even though I have an education, and I could have done that, and I could have made, 6 figures easily. I chose not to do that, because to be success was to be able to raise my 3 babies to the best of my ability and be a mom first. Because to me, that relation is more important than this relation, right? The money relation. So
You're spending time with your children that is more important than any amount of dollars you can make, and I'm pretty sure they appreciate you being around, especially what you've been going through. And do you find it now hard for you to get back into that scene of maybe dating, meeting new people, making friends?
not the making friends part, because honestly, it's so weird. So this has been like this metamorphosis over the past 10 years. So I've been free. July 23rd will be 10 years, will be my freedom date. And so in that time, I've metamorphosized into the beautiful butterfly. No, but seriously, I've metamorphosized into this human that sets boundaries, sets expectations, limits boundaries, expectations, limits, whatever. And I am very particular with whom I spend my time. And I actually have deeper relationships. I have more meaningful conversations even with my children, because I just do, because I won't allow generic existence to be part of my livelihood anymore. So it's really helped me to not be that like generic facade, oh, everything's fine. When I ask somebody how they're doing, I really want to know how they're doing, or I'm not asking. If I don't have 20 minutes to give to that person, or 30, I'm not asking. So, and dating, whatever, it's dating. I don't, like, honestly, I don't, because because of what we went through, I have very particular things that I expect. And my primary thing that I expect is to keep my children safe. And I expect that from myself. So unless I feel like the person who spends time with us is a safe person, it's not happening.